Hey, and welcome back to Game Talk. I'm your host, Em, and Mia. Today I'm joined by Connor
Hey guys.
and Mike.
Hello.
So, just like last episode where Sony had some stuff to show, this week we're going to be talking about Nintendo. Nintendo had one of their Nintendo Directs here recently, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
It was a juicy one. It was.
Yeah, and some announcements were, let's just say, more hilarious than others, and we'll get to those. But I think we should just kick things off with the very first thing that was shown at the Direct, which was the expansion to Monster Hunter Rise. Now, I know, Connor, you're a big Monster Hunter person. How did this announcement make you feel?
I was still in my car driving. I don't really have I haven't played Monster Hunter Rise yet. I've only played I still haven't finished World or bought Iceborne. So
Okay.
I don't really have anybody to play Monster Hunter with. So like I don't know. It's hard for them to get my money, honestly, because it's very much a cooperative game and none of my friends play it. So
Okay, yeah, I haven't really taken the plunge into Monster Hunter yet, but I do know like people are really excited about this, and I think people have been in general very positive about Rise, even more so than
it's
World.
been very well liked. It's actually coming to PC, and I believe the expansion is day and date on PC, which is extremely exciting. That's probably when I'll jump on.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to get your thoughts for that because I know you're the big Monster Hunter guy out of our group. But yeah, after that, I think we got like a bevy of smaller announcements. We've just to go through the list a little bit. We've got Deltarune chapters 1 and 2 coming to Switch, which is very cool, very well suited for the Switch.
I thought that was already out. Deltarune was already out on PC at least. I thought it was just like kind of an announcement that it was like on Switch.
Right, yeah. It's not like debuting on Switch. It's just coming to Switch.
No, I think it's already on Switch. Like, I think they were just saying, like, hey, this is here, and it's been here for 2
really?
days now. Yeah,
that's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Nintendo. Okay.
I think. Because, like, I don't understand why you would release it on PC and then Switch later. That doesn't really... Because the first chapter, I think, came out on everything at once.
Another third-party announcement that was kind of amusing to me, I think, like, it was like, what? Like the Dying Light cloud version
edition. Yeah,
was
I'm
announced.
Surprised they're bringing those west now, which is weird because they don't work here.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's an interesting solution to the problem of the Switch being underpowered, right? But I don't know if it's necessarily, like you said, appropriate for most people
it's a
here.
Terrible solution, honestly. I don't selling individual game cloud editions and like not letting Game Pass on your platform sucks. Like,
yeah, I don't really know who this is for, to be honest. Like, if someone really wants to play Dying Light 2, I'm sure they'd play it on like PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, right? Like, I mean,
it's for people that have a Switch and want to play Dying Light, like, which is a small audience, but it's also not very hard to put these. Like, they didn't have to port it, you know.
Yeah,
streaming, you know. I imagine it's an extremely easy thing to create, and it's just putting your game on another platform.
Right, yeah, it's just a bit of an oddity, and I'm assuming we'll see more of these sorts of things going forward, right? As cloud becomes, well, at least tries to become more and more prevalent, right?
Yeah,
we'll see these cloud ports of games on lower powered consoles.
I do wonder, like, what the statistics are, like, because surely they've done surveys and stuff of people that use these services, and like, I wonder how much of the US is what I would be interested in because it's where I live. Like, how much of the US has good enough internet to even utilize these things, or not even just good enough internet, but is close enough to a data center? Because I know I'm not. Like, I gave Game Pass Ultimate a try, the Game Pass streaming,
yeah,
just unplayable for me.
Funnily enough, where I live now, I'm pretty close to like Amazon's, AWS US East servers, but like that's not a common thing.
I would think. I mean, I'm pretty close to Pittsburgh. I would think that like I am a pretty good representative of like the median or the average American internet, the average circumstances someone would have, and it's not playable for me. But I
think I would agree with that. But yeah, like even in my ideal conditions, like I mentioned, I think last week I tried like Psychonauts 2 via xCloud, and it was too much for me. Like I can understand like some people being okay with that level of lag, but yeah, I was not about it. But anyways, we've got a lot of games to get through. No, you're good. I think another notable one that doesn't really interest me, but I kind of want to just mention it. There was like a Final Fantasy Chocobo like Mario Kart game
Yeah, I
Hey,
think that's a
announced.
sequel.
all I'm saying is that Nintendo won't release their own Mario Kart, so Square Enix said, "We got you."
It seems like it, yeah. Final Fantasy and karting are like the last two things I ever thought would have a crossover, but here we are, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Chocobo Racing has been a thing. Like, not the games, but like, I
In
think
the
a lot of
games,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy games you race Chocobo. So like, I don't know,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, just thought it was a neat little announcement.
I just
Uh,
think that Final Fantasy karting is a hard sell to me because like playing as Cloud Strife against like Noctis, that's not a fun. It's not a very interesting karting matchup to me, you know.
I mean, some people will be nerding out about that,
Oh
but
yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy has its fans, and I consider myself an okay Final Fantasy fan. Like I don't dislike it, but I think that the people who love Final Fantasy enough that they're gonna like buy the weird karting game. I think that might be pretty niche.
yeah. So, another game I kind of wanted that I thought looked really neat actually was Voice of Cards: The Isle Dragon Roars, and that was like
That's Yoko Taro, isn't it?
it was a Yoko
Yeah.
Taro like
Instant buy. Don't care. Don't care
card
about
game.
anything else about it.
Yeah, it looked very cool, like very, very. It was like a tabletop video game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it seemed like like obviously you're dealing with a deck of cards, so like the gameplay will be sort of
It was like a tabletop RPG,
yeah,
but a card game, but a video game.
but a video game, yeah, instead of just making an actual card game. Yeah,
But then
it
it's
was.
also Yoko Taro, so it's gonna be like brilliantly weird.
Yeah, it seemed very intriguing to me, and I was about it. I thought that looked very cool.
The best cases are when like Yoko Taro partners with somebody else who makes the gameplay good, like Nier Automata, where
Platinum, yeah,
Platinum made the game actually fun. Yoko Taro made it weird and awesome.
yeah.
So I imagine that's what's happening here again, because card game RPG does not fit Yoko Taro's like normal stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have my eye on that one. Another one I wanted to shout out, which it's funny, like when Octopath Traveler came out, when they first showed it, it was like Project Octopath Traveler.
Yeah,
And
and then
people
they
were like,
did
surely that wouldn't be the actual name, and then it was. Well,
Octopath Traveler's an okay name though. Like Triangle Strategy is not a good name for
yeah,
a video game.
okay, so last direct, not this one, but the last one, they revealed Project Triangle Strategy, which was another kind of like HD 2D role-playing game with kind of like a Fire Emblem strategy role-playing game, right? But they did like the full reveal here, and it's just called Triangle Strategy, which is just a terrible name for a video
Terrible
game.
name. Octopath Traveler grew on me, but Triangle Strategy
Yeah.
is going to be terrible forever.
It looks gorgeous, though. I love that HD 2D art style.
Yeah, me too. It's
They
apparently like opinions of that are pretty mixed. I think it looks awesome, and I also think that the game looks fun. Like
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler. I played the demo. Didn't really draw me in. The story was not really compelling enough for me to care. At least what I saw in the demo. Triangle Strategy, the gameplay looks good enough to bring me in, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like a Fire Emblem game, and I'm all about that. Yeah, okay. So I think, there were a lot of other announcements. Shout out to Disco Elysium, the final cut. I'm just glad that game's getting on every conceivable platform. Like, I think Disco Elysium, personally, I feel like that is a must-play game if you're into video games even a little bit. So
Yeah, I gotta pick that up.
I'm glad to see that coming to Switch. They did announce like a content update for Mario Golf, which is neat. They also announced revealed more of Mario Party Superstars, which we kind of bashed on it for just recycling old maps and repackaging it and selling it for $60. It seems like it's going to be kind of fun to play this with friends.
Nah, but
To be perfectly honest,
let me hit you. They were like they showed 2 maps and acted like they were showing like a ton of content. This game has 4 boards. That's not enough. Like I don't care that they're old boards. That doesn't bother me at all. Like I would buy a Mario Party collection. I'm not gonna buy your Mario Party collection that has 4 boards in it. Like
yeah, 4 is
do better.
shockingly.
That's nothing.
I think that's even. I think
That's exactly what Super Mario Party
Super
had.
Mario Party.
And
Yeah,
it
it was
wasn't
like
enough there either.
it either had 4 or 5. Yeah, that's kind of a shame. But Nintendo's realizing that they don't have to put forth that much effort to get the same amount of sales.
I'm not gonna buy a Mario Party game again with 4 boards because it just 4's not enough variety because you're just gonna like Mario Party needs variety. It needs to be different every time you play it, and 4 boards is not enough to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this one's a case of like, if my friends pick this up and want to play it, I'll probably be talked into buying it. To be perfectly honest,
it just seems particularly lazy because they're not even making new boards.
yeah, they're just like remastering old ones.
How expensive? Like, let's not say lazy because I don't like that. It's more cheap. Like, how expensive could it possibly be to remaster a Mario Party board? There's not a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's there really isn't. Like, and yeah, that's all there is to say, really.
Yeah, if they would say like 4 now and we'll release more. 6 would be enough for me. I think. Like, I don't know. 4 is just so few. I'm bored thinking about it. It's not.
Yeah, they could definitely do better. I will.
It was the phrasing
apologize.
in the direct that really got me because it was like they showed off 2 boards, I think, in the direct, and they were like, all this and more, and I was like, not much more. Like,
yeah,
stupid.
So, I think one more small announcement, and then we can get into the really meaty things. Well, small for us. This is probably big for a lot of people, but they did like a Splatoon 3 gameplay reveal. I know.
Calling Splatoon 3 small is really funny because it's like,
I mean, to us, right?
Biggest new properties.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure people were all about that, but I just let me be frank. I hate Splatoon.
Really? I just thought it was boring. I played it.
Let me be perfectly honest. I have never played Splatoon. I just hate it from looking at it. It's like an old man opinion, really.
I borrowed Splatoon 2 from my brother for a bit when the Switch was new, or whenever Splatoon 2 was new, and it just did nothing for me. It's just I mean,
it's a Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we are now moving on into some of the bigger and more meaty announcements, at least by my estimation. So this actually kind of made me mad at first when I heard it, but then I was like, okay, it makes sense. We got an announcement that Sakurai was going to do an announcement of the final Smash Ultimate character.
The first time they've done that.
I really thought they'd sneak the character into the direct somehow in a cheeky way, and I was looking forward to that. But
I like it when they sneak it in, but like
the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, this is the final character for Smash Ultimate. Obviously, it's a very special moment. This makes sense to have a dedicated event for that. So I was only mad about that for like a few seconds, and then I got over it. But that begs the question: who could this final fighter be? This is a monumental fighter.
It doesn't matter who it is. So many people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah. There are
no right answers.
Let's just be clear. I think this is the biggest Smash DLC announcement ever. Like, it has to be, right? Like, this is the last character for the ultimate, pun intended, Smash Brothers game. We will probably never see a video game like Super Smash Ultimate again, being perfectly honest. Like, I don't think we'll ever see a crossover of that magnitude again.
I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, ever, but it'll be a while.
At least 10 years, let me put it that way. This is a once-in-a-generation type event.
There are 3 possibilities in my mind for the final Smash character. There's one, it's Waluigi, which I think is hilarious, and I move on with my day.
Okay, so let me quickly interject here. So these Smash characters were decided by Nintendo, not Sakurai or his team. Let's just keep that in mind.
And Sakurai is the one who said it won't be Waluigi. 2. It could be a Fire Emblem character, and I will be mad and continue to not play Smash Bros.
There's 0 chance. Come on.
I disagree. I absolutely disagree.
After Byleth, you think they will honestly do another Fire Emblem character?
Yeah, I 100% think that there's a good chance it'll be another Fire Emblem character. And then
it's gonna be Goku.
Yeah, the alternative is that it's literally any other character, and I think, oh, cool. I bet some people are happy about that, and I move on with my day.
I'm feeling either Crash Bandicoot. I'm feeling another gaming mascot.
There's no character left that I would be hyped for. I don't think.
I think
Like,
honestly, this is a wild guess, but I just feel Master Chief. I feel it.
I would love for it to be Master Chief. I think that'd be cool. But like, they've burnt through all the characters that would be like insanely hype for me. So
Jonesy from Fortnite.
that would be annoying. But I would just. I mean, Jonesy from Fortnite. I thought Minecraft Steve would be stupid, but he ended up being really fun. So like, whatever. Maybe Jonesy would be cool. I don't know.
Here's the thing, like with Microsoft's already playing nice on the Nintendo with letting Banjo join, and I feel like the natural extension, especially with Halo Infinite coming out in a couple months, it's kind of the perfect timing, right?
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, but I don't know. I don't think it'll happen.
Speaking
But
of
maybe I'll eat those words.
I'm derailing. But did anyone else notice that Banjo-Kazooie was featured in the upcoming N64 games on the Switch?
Yeah, that's kind of huge. Did anybody else notice that you have to pay extra to get?
Okay, no, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
We'll get to there. We'll get there.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
okay,
I'm mad.
but okay, some more Smash speculation. I think okay, so let's put some odds. Is it going to be a Nintendo character or not?
I think so. I think it will be.
It's going to be Jack Black voicing Bowser.
Mike, you are spoiling everything.
The internet knows already.
Everyone knows.
I have already giggled about it for at least a week.
Yeah. So, a lot of people online have been saying Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
God, that'd be the worst.
I have no affinity for Kingdom Hearts, but I think he is one of the more popular, and obviously like the survey data that came in like years and years ago before Ultimate was even a thing is still heavily influential on Nintendo's decisions, I think, because like Banjo was near the top of that, and like there were a lot of characters like King K. Rool, for instance, like a lot of characters on that list that made it into this Ultimate game. So maybe there's a hint on that list for who could be left.
A lot of those characters on that list are interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, none of us really care for Sora, but like,
I'd rather get Goofy.
There's a huge contingent of people that would go crazy for that.
Wouldn't they have to like deal with Disney to get Sora?
They would, yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I guess that would make it the most impressive, right? The fact that Sakurai got Disney to play nice, right?
Yeah. I don't see that happening. I hope it doesn't. I think Sora would be a really boring choice.
Come on, if they negotiate with Disney, at least just put Goofy in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Mickey Mouse.
No.
No, you get it's Goofy.
Or Max, Goofy's son.
So didn't Goofy have a dog?
So a joke character gets thrown around a lot. Goku, right? Like Goku, I think has the lowest.
There's no way it'll be Goku. If it is Goku, I will lose my marbles. Let me tell you that. I will lose my mind. I don't know what I would do. My life would
We'll cancel Game Talk. Game Talk is over. Goku's in Smash.
Honestly, yeah. If Goku is in Smash, like let me be clear. I love Goku, but he is not a video game character. Okay. But if he is in Smash, that would just. I feel like we just live in a parody world. Even more so than we already do.
There'd be no better gaming news to cover. We just have to wrap it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Gaming would have peaked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, the argument could go either way, right? Like, this is the final Ultimate character, so of course it's going to be a Nintendo character, right? Or it's the final Ultimate character. It's going to be the most insane one of all, right? Like, so it really could be anything, honestly. It's exciting. I love Ultimate reveals, and once this is finally all said and done, it's going to be sad, right? Like, because you're missing that kind of X factor in any direct. You just never know when an Ultimate character will pop up, and it's just so hype. And having that gone is, it's going to be missed, I think. But yeah, I'm sure we'll cover whoever it is when it's announced on October 3rd or whatever, very soon.
Pretty soon.
I think it's October 5th, somewhere in there.
It's before Dread. I remember that.
And it's before the Animal Crossing Direct, which I'm more excited about than anything else.
Yeah, okay, so let's move into that a little bit. The Animal Crossing news. They also announced that there was an announcement of an Animal Crossing.
All they showed is Brewster,
Direct.
though, right? Or did I miss something?
I think they showed like the coffee shop or whatever.
That's Brewster. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know very little about Animal Crossing
Right, I
beyond what
forgot,
was shown
yeah.
in the new one.
I
But
forgot
I
New
think this
Horizons was
is what's that?
I forgot New Horizons was your first.
Yeah, I think this is very much needed, right? Like Animal Crossing New Horizons, like broke through the mainstream in a way a Nintendo game has not done in a long time, right? Like it became like the Pokemon Go of this summer.
Yeah, but it was
Pretty much.
needed a year. This summer? You mean last summer?
Last summer, Jesus, yeah.
I was gonna say
fine.
it was needed a year ago. This game has been in a content drought for and typically Animal Crossings don't get a ton of content updates and stuff, but also typically an Animal Crossing game ships with a full game's worth of content, and New Horizons didn't. It has less dialogue than any other Animal Crossing game. It has fewer characters. It has fewer events. They took out the minigame island. They took out a bunch of stores. They took out a bunch of just everything. Like this game is bare bones.
I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think Nintendo saw an opportunity and were like, "Hey, we don't have everything we want in this Animal Crossing game, but if we release this now, it's going to create a bang," and it did.
Yeah, but I feel like if that were the case, there would have been updates by now. It doesn't make do you know what Brewster's is, Ahmed? It's a one-room coffee shop. You know that doesn't take a year and a half to develop.
Right, but I'm sure they're having a whole direct dedicated to this. I'm sure that we better see a lot of stuff.
I don't agree. I don't think that having a direct dedicated, because they do Pokemon directs and they don't show anything. It's just it's more Pokemon, cool. It doesn't mean anything. They're just gonna show Brewster, and there's a cooking mechanic rumored, but it's not much. It's not enough.
It's interesting to me because again, this is my first experience for Animal Crossing, and I was actually thinking about once this update drops, I'm probably just gonna delete my save and just make a new one.
Really?
An experience, because I was super attached to my village and villagers and all of that for a while, but I haven't touched Animal Crossing in over a year now, and I kind of just want to go through the motions of
I can't delete mine. I have Anka in my village right now.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah,
I have the ugly hamster.
The gross one.
Yeah, but he's my friend, so therefore he stays. I am like the Isle of Misfit Animal Crossing characters.
Yeah,
I literally had Raymond in a tent on my island, and I said, "Go away."
Wow.
I can't remember. I can't remember who the popular ones anymore, but I remember I had a few of the ones that were highly sought after, but all that's kind of just lost to me now. I kind of just want to jump back in fresh, and I'm sure I hope the direct will give me enough incentive to do so. I know you're kind of skeptical, Connor, but I'm surely they have a substantial update, I think, but we'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Metroid Dread, right? It was revealed at the last maybe 2 directs ago now, but they showed a lot of this game.
Yeah,
a lot of the environments.
They need to stop showing this game. They have spoiled so much.
What I will say though is just from looking at it, the tone of the game is awesome.
Oh yeah, no, the game looks incredible. I just wish they would quit showing stuff.
I think I think it feels it looks stressful in a good way. It's gonna be
yeah. I mean, it's called Dread, and
yeah, exactly, yeah. But I mean,
it'll be really good.
I think Nintendo's really nailing the tone of that title, right? Even the music and the frantic cuts in the trailer, everything was giving you the feeling of just being boxed in. It was awesome. And
I'm not surprised that they're nailing it. I mean, they've done it before. Have you played Metroid Fusion?
I have not played a Metroid game before.
Dude, you better get on it. You could probably
The reason I paused was because I did start, I think maybe it was
the Game Boy Advance one.
No. I started Super Metroid on the Virtual Console on Switch.
Okay. That's good. Super Metroid is it's the best one, but it's also the hardest one to finish in my opinion, because it actually asks something of you, whereas a lot of the other ones are a little more handholdy. They give you waypoints and stuff. They're fun. They're very fun, but they don't let go of your hand and let you just explore the whole world the way Super Metroid does.
Yeah, it's definitely I know Metroid's a pretty big gap to have in in terms of like all the games you play. But like I'm coming at it from the perspective of like a complete outsider, so I kind of just want to see like the reception of this game, and if it's like rave, like how it will probably be, I'll probably just pick it up and play it.
I think odds are extremely good. I'm gonna like it. It's made by the same people who did Samus Returns, and while tonally that game completely missed the point of Metroid 2, it was fun. It made the genocide of the Metroids really fun, which was cool. It did miss the somber note where you genocide an entire race.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was really good. I think Dread will get the tone right, especially since they're like not copying someone else's homework. They're doing their
No,
something original.
every time they've shown this game, it looks awesome. I just like I'm sure people like you are concerned they're showing too much. Did you like avert your eyes at any point?
What?
Did you like close your eyes or something?
No, so I got to know that Kraid is in the game, and I got to know that there's a Chozo in a power suit in the game, and like those are all huge. Like we've never seen a Chozo, I don't think, in a Metroid game that is alive. So like, why would you show that in a trailer, guys?
So I think I know why, right? Like, because Metroid is one of those series that like it's loved by everyone, but the sales don't reflect the love for it.
But let me tell you, like, why that's such a bad idea is like the people who care that there's a Chozo in a power suit, the people that care about that detail specifically, were already gonna buy the game. Like, they were already Metroid fans who are like into this stuff and were gonna buy it. And then there's the people that are like, what's the scary bird thing? And they're like, it's not gonna sell them on the game. Like, it's not that cool.
Yeah.
It's terrible marketing. It really has made me mad. And like Kraid, for instance, like showing him, and Kraid's not that surprising. He's been in like 3 of the 5 Metroid games. Like, he shows up a lot. So I shouldn't be that surprised, but it's still really annoying that like, that could have been a cool retro throwback that surprised me, and it's not. They spoiled it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's it's all marketing attempts.
Yeah,
whether or not
it's
that's
sad, right? Like, the people who care about it were already going to buy the game, so maybe they should have shown something cool and new, and like
maybe this is what they showed to get new people to buy the game. Like, this is it, right? Like, I don't think we're getting another trailer. Like, this is the main thing here. So
yeah, I hope it works because I don't know.
Yeah, I think it looks really rad, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm gonna buy it. And maybe all this stuff happens in the first 20 minutes, and I will be less angry. Yeah. I'll get back to you in 2 weeks when I played it.
Oh man, it's that close, huh? Yeah.
It's like
wow. Yeah. That's terrifying.
It's almost October. Jeez, what is happening?
I gotta go buy a life-size skeleton from Lowe's later.
They sell them at Walmart too.
Yeah, but they're like $30 at Lowe's. I think they're cheaper.
Oh my god, I need to go to Lowe's.
Okay, I can't seg from skeleton, so I'm just gonna say Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I think this was the most this was the most pleasant announcement.
Most out of left field. I've been wanting the 3D Kirby. I mean, people have been asking for this since the N64.
Kirby, it only took Nintendo how many years to finally
I think it's going to be really good too.
3D?
I mean, you watch the trailer, you get serious like Mario 3D World vibes from it.
Yeah, and let me. I have a soft spot in my heart for Kirby. Like, I fully acknowledge that Kirby games are just like good, right? Like, they're never like fantastic like Mario and Zelda, right? But like,
I disagree. I mean, I think there's some really good Kirby games. I think Kirby Planet Robobot is insanely good.
Okay, I've never played that one, but from my experience, I don't think Kirby has ever lived up to the heights of, let's say, Mario, Zelda, and even Metroid, from what I hear.
The best Kirby games are not as good as the best.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I think this is them trying to say, like, hey, this is our shot at a new take on Kirby, right? Like, because when's the last time we got a 3D Kirby game?
Never.
Was Crystal Shard on N64? No, that was 2D as well,
yep,
right?
All been 2D or 2D.
Yeah, so this is
the first 3D Kirby game.
That's very exciting, yeah. And it looks like they translated the Kirby gameplay, like the flying and the eating and all of that, really well into 3D. So
oh yeah, and the powers, the way they're doing the powers looks so cool. Like we saw Kirby, I think, turn porcupine or whatever, and just roll around as a spike ball and stuff. It looks so fun.
Yeah, I think it looks rad.
They didn't show co-op though in this, and I found that really surprising because co-op's been. I guess it's not really a staple in Kirby. It's happened in a few different games. It happened in Crystal Mirror. Is that what it was called? It happened in Star Allies. I don't know. When I think of modern Kirby, co-op comes to mind, and I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I think all the ones on the Wii were co-op. So like, I don't know. I think it's weird that they didn't show that. I hope it's in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they showed like Waddle Dees, and usually Waddle Dees imply co-op. I think, but who knows?
Well, it depends on the game. Like, in Star Allies, you could play as any character ever from Kirby, basically. In Kirby and the Crystal Mirror, I can't remember what it was called. It was like a mirror breaks or something, and you're in a mirror world and stuff. Everybody just plays as different colored Kirbys for some reason.
It's funny when this trailer first started. I was like, I jokingly said, "The Last of Us Switch," because that's what it sort of looked like, right? It was like
post-apocalyptic. Kirby has history with post-apocalypse. Like there's yeah, and also Kirby keeps eating gods and stuff. So I'm excited to see what like horrifying lore implications Forgotten Lands brings.
You find out Kirby is the one that like nuked the entire world and lost his memory or something. Yeah. But it is cool. This is a very unique setting for Kirby, right? Like it's a post-apocalyptic Kirby game, which I never thought I would say. Like it's a very Nintendo thing because it takes like an old idea and like twists it into a new innovative flavor, I think.
Yeah, it'll be an absolute day one purchase for me though.
Yeah. And Spring 22 release date. Side note, at the beginning of this direct, they said this we're going to be focusing on games coming out this year. Almost all the games they talked about
they're all
are 2022, which was slightly annoying, but yeah, this Kirby game looks great, and it's very exciting. Like first foray into 3D after what, like 3 decades, which is
first one was on the Game Boy, so that would have been yeah,
very cool. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, so Nintendo Switch Online is getting getting DLC.
Yeah. Do we know if this is like a one-time purchase for an expansion, or is it like you're paying monthly? Like I don't understand.
I don't think they
called it an expansion pack, which is like a reference to the expansion pack on the N64.
So I don't think they have elaborated yet, but if I were to bet money, I would say it's just like a higher subscription tier that you pay each month.
If it is more than like $10 more a year, they're delusional. And even then, that would be a lot for what.
So here's the thing. I think they have a lot of wiggle room here for this to be a success, right? Because like what? Nintendo Switch Online is $20 a year right now? Right?
Yeah, $20 a year or like $35 a year for 8 people on a family plan.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I think we're still in a family plan.
We sure are, yeah. I don't know. I was looking at my family plan the other day to see if I had room to add a friend, and I don't know who these people are.
That's so funny. But yeah, so like just comparing Nintendo to their contemporaries, PlayStation and Xbox, who are each charging $60 a year for online, right?
Yeah, but
I think
they also provide a decent service, which Nintendo does not do.
I mean, I would argue. I mean, okay, so this is more of a me thing, but like to me, I think most of the value comes from these old games. Honestly, like,
yeah. I mean, Nintendo Online's value, that's where all of it comes from because the online doesn't work. Like,
yeah, the online is. I mean, like certain games have good online, like Mario Kart's online is pretty good.
Mario Kart is fine. Tetris 99 is fun. Pac-Man 99 is fine.
Smash is abysmal. Like that's the one. Like. How is Smash abysmal still? Like that's
Smash needed to work. Animal Crossing sucks. It works, but it sucks.
Yeah. But I think
it's a bad service. Like the one I really wanted to be good was Super Mario Maker. That online is terrible. It's unplayable.
Yeah. But just going back to this announcement for a second, the N64 thing. When I heard that, I was like, wow, that's insane. This is awesome. But, expected to some extent. What I didn't expect was the Sega Genesis.
Yeah,
console.
The Sega Genesis was
that was a surprise.
Surprising.
Yeah, so just very quickly, let me go down a list of games. And Nintendo did confirm that more will come over time. For N64, out of the gate, we're getting Dr. Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis, Sin and Punishment, Star Fox 64, Super Mario 64, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Winback, and Yoshi's Story. Sega Genesis, we're getting Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Phantasy Star 4, Ristar, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider. Some interesting games. Sonic 2, but not 1 or 3.
Well, 3 is a difficult Sonic game to re-release. Or 3 and Knuckles.
It's just, it's wild that we're seeing a Sega Nintendo release, like...
Yeah, it's
if you
weird
had
that it's gonna
told
be in
someone,
the-
a couple decades ago that this would happen, they would spit on you, right? Like, 'cause this
Yeah.
was like the big rivalry. It's like
Yeah.
in like 30 years, if PlayStation games are showing up on Xbox, like
I
something
don't
like
think
that.
it's that crazy though. I mean, there's precedent for it. There were Genesis games on the Wii Virtual Shop, like
Yeah, that's true. That's
or
true.
Virtual Console, whatever
I
it's called.
mean, yeah, like, but this is a straight up Genesis emulation, right? Like,
I mean,
straight
that's
up
what it
putting
was
the
on the Wii.
was it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I'm super excited for Ocarina of Time. Let me just tell you that. I've just been jonesing to play that game for so long, and now I'll have a way to do it legit.
You people kill me.
Yeah.
I have Ocarina of Time. I have it on the 3DS, I have it on the N64, I have it on the GameCube, and I have it on my Wii. Like I have bought this game I'm not gonna buy this game again. I'm not gonna do it. I've had enough.
I do think it's interesting that Super Mario 64 is on here after all the hullabaloo they made of like, you better buy this Mario pack or you're never gonna get it again.
It's a better version too. The one on NSO, people are saying they're pretty sure it's gonna have the backwards long jump in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's like speedrun viable.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I loved Mario Tennis back in the day.
Never played it.
On 64, it was so much fun. Yeah, it was great.
I feel like that's just a uniquely you thing of digging
It
through
might be.
that bargain bin for Mario Tennis.
No, Mario Tennis is pretty well liked. I didn't play it.
I didn't play it either. I didn't even know there was a Mario Tennis game.
I think
Yeah, there's a
like
new
the
one on
second
Switch
one, I
too.
think.
There's a Mario modern Mario Tennis on Switch as well.
I forgot about You see, most Nintendo games are like fever dreams that I block out of my mind after giving them real estate for about a week.
That is fair, yeah. Well, most of the weird Nintendo games, like the sports games and stuff, they're pretty fever dreamy. Like the Mario Golf game that was huge for a bit.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I think this, for an initial offering, I like these N64 games. Like, I love Yoshi's Story, obviously Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, Star Fox 64. Like, I don't know, man. This is cool. If they could somehow, some way, get Donkey Kong 64, this thing is goated.
Why wouldn't they be able to get Donkey Kong 64?
Because Rare made it, right?
Aren't they getting Banjo-Kazooie, though?
I don't think so. I mean, they didn't announce it.
Wait, what were you saying earlier, Mike? You mentioned Banjo-Kazooie.
It's upcoming, maybe. It was teased. It was like an off the cuff tease on like more games are incoming. It was like Majora's Mask. Then the next title that was shown,
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did show...
Banjo-Kazooie.
Did they do that? I don't remember that. I do remember them saying that Majora's Mask is coming like next, which is, again, awesome.
I remember them showing Banjo too, because I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, maybe I'll finally play it. And then I remembered I did play it and I didn't like it.
They didn't say anything about it, but they showed the cover and that was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be huge. I mean, like,
That would be huge.
that's an Xbox game at this point. So,
I think GoldenEye is the one that they're gonna have trouble getting.
yeah, GoldenEye's tough as well. I don't know if they'll be able to do that. I think they just need Microsoft to play, and also Donkey Kong 64 is so weird because Nintendo owns Donkey Kong, but Rare made Donkey Kong 64, and now Microsoft owns Rare. So I don't know how all that works. But
Yeah.
let me
they
tell you something.
re-released Donkey Kong Country and stuff, so
Donkey Kong 64, I feel like isn't really looked at favorably nowadays,
no,
right?
it's not. No.
Let me tell you, when I was a small child and I went to like someone's house and they were playing Donkey Kong 64, that game made such a strong impression on me. I like dreamed about that game for months. I wanted that game more than I wanted just about anything at the age of like 4 or 5.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, that game for whatever reason resonated with me in a way that few games do. And on that note, Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Yeah, he is. He sure is. This cast killed me. I mean, I laughed
Yeah.
at Chris Pratt as Mario.
Okay, so let's just back for on the off chance someone has not heard about this. They are making a live action Mario movie.
No, they're not. It's an animated Mario movie.
No way, is it really?
Even
Yeah, it's
worse.
done by elimination. You thought this was you thought Chris Pratt was actually going to dress up as Mario?
Oh my god, that would have been better.
Absurd to me.
Oh my god, no! It's
Okay. Well, that makes it slightly better. It's still weird. It's still very weird. All right, so they're making.
Seth Rogen was going to dress up as
They're
Dude,
making,
it's me, Jack Black is Bowser.
they're making an animated Mario movie, and Chris Pratt is Mario, which
Yeah, Chris Pratt
Itself.
voices Mario. Yeah.
which by itself was hilarious, like so ill-fitting.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'd like to imagine Miyamoto himself came out and was like, yeah, I'm heavily involved in the creative process for this movie. I would like to think that Miyamoto was just like, I want Chris Pratt to be Mario. You know, like before any auditions or anything, like he just said, like Chris Pratt is Mario, and they made it happen. Like
that's why they made the movie.
that's what I can.
Miyamoto probably said, "Bring me one of those Hollywood Chris's."
I need a Chris stat.
No, my favorite thing was that like when they brought Chris Pratt up or the picture up, they're like Mario's going to be talking a lot in this movie, and I was like, oh, good.
He's gonna sound like Star Lord.
That thing Mario's known for, talking a lot.
Oh, good.
So Chris Pratt is Mario, which is really weird. All right, and then they announced Princess Peach as Anya Taylor-Joy, which actually okay.
That's just fine. Yeah,
that could work. Yeah. Jack Black as Bowser.
Oh my god.
I think Jack Black as Bowser is a fine choice. I think that's
I actually do too.
inoffensive.
Yeah. I think that works. It's just still really funny. You know, that Jack Black just, making growling noises and such. That's going to happen in the movie.
I mean, he already does that in Tenacious D, so.
Yeah.
I just think like having an all-star cast in a Mario movie is weird. Like
it is weird. Like, why you don't need this cast? Like, it's a Mario movie. Like,
I honestly,
part of me thinks it's a weird marketing stunt, but also like this is a really expensive marketing stunt. These are not cheap actors.
I think we're missing like the key points here, which is a Charlie Day as Luigi.
Yeah, I missed that. Yeah,
that's the funniest one to me.
So funny, dude. Like Charlie.
I was also partial to Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is the one that broke most people. Like that just.
I mean, the reactions are all people in riotous laughter.
Honestly, Keegan Michael Key as Toad was really that got me good.
That got me real good.
Yeah, when I look at Keegan Michael Key, I think Toad.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's gonna be a weird movie. And then this one actually kind of Charles Martinet is doing cameos throughout the movie, and like I'm glad
they should have just had him do Mario. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, he can't do Mario for long. He's real good at the yahoos and the wahoos, but any longer and his voice starts to break up.
Maybe every other character except for Mario should have been voiced, and he should have just done the wahoos for Mario.
Yeah, that's what I expected when they announced it. Like Mario is. I mean, this will be the first time Mario's ever spoken a full sentence outside of cartoons. I think. I don't know. There was the live action movie with
that
Bob Hoskins.
The actual live
I feel
action
like
movie.
the worst part is it's by Illumination, who also did Minions.
Yeah, Illumination is the most soulless.
Oh gosh,
animation
they did Minions. Oh no.
Oh, they also did Sing. Like this studio sucks.
Nintendo couldn't have gotten Pixar or something.
Nintendo could have gotten whoever they wanted. They chose Illumination.
Yeah.
Nintendo, what are you doing?
I can't wait for the inevitable Minion cameo in the Mario universe.
I can't wait for the sequel that's just Toads.
All I know is when Donkey Kong
have a Z in it.
When Donkey Kong in the movie laughs like Seth Rogen, it's just going to be yeah.
I feel like we just need to watch this movie.
I mean,
science.
I'm gonna see it. I won't go to theaters for it.
I assume that was already a given, right? We're all seeing this movie, right?
Yeah, no, we have to.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it because it's gaming related, I guess.
I say we dedicate an entire episode to just reviewing the movie.
Oh man, I'm not going to a theater to see this movie.
I might throw it on a drunk movie night.
When's it come out? It's not out for a while, right?
Yeah, but I don't see things get. I don't know. We don't need to get into that, but
okay.
I don't see myself going to see this movie in theaters.
Day one.
You can have it.
No, it's such an absurd thing that exists in an absurd world. This is probably one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. Like,
it was life changing watching that trailer, or not trailer. That
like it was like someone. It was like if Nintendo hired someone like come up with the most memeable cast possible for this movie, and then they actually took it seriously. Like that's what this cast is. It's just wild that this exists in any way, shape, or form. And the fact I feel like I really do firmly believe, and this is my headcanon now, that Miyamoto handpicked all of these actors. Like I firmly believe that.
I think Jack Black is a good choice for Bowser. I think that's really funny, especially because they're probably going to do like lovable single father Bowser a little bit in this movie.
It's just
I doubt Bowser's going to be the villain.
Also for Charlie Day as Luigi, like I'm sorry, Charlie is a great actor, but after just binging Always Sunny for years and years now, like I can't see him as anything other than Charlie Kelly.
If they don't have a Luigi work joke in this movie, I'm gonna riot.
Yeah, I feel like this movie is rife with opportunities of just like referencing the actual like actors' other roles. Like it's like a gold mine. Like you can do that for Seth Rogen, you could do that for Jack Black, you could do that for Charlie Day. Like,
yeah.
But you know, I'm sure it won't happen because it'll be a Nintendo movie through and through. But yeah, that was I think honestly. This was the highlight of the direct to me. Like this announcement. Like what a crazy thing. And I think that pretty much covers most of the things in this direct. Oh no! I'm sorry. The finale, right? Bayonetta 3.
Oh yeah,
type.
I couldn't figure out what it was at first. I don't like the monster designs, but there's no world in which I don't buy Bayonetta 3 on launch day. I love those games. I was watching that trailer and being like, what is this? I'm not sure what this is. Well,
but then she showed up.
They wanted you to think it was Astral Chain. Like, clearly. They showed a lot of Astral Chain stuff. They showed the police. They showed that dog.
Okay.
And like...
Yeah, I don't think Astral Chain made the mark they wanted it to, but maybe that's just me. But
I don't know. I mean, people liked it. I didn't play it. I don't know. Yeah. I like Astral Chain didn't have the character, if you know what I'm saying. Like Bayonetta and Dante, and Nero, and like they're Bayonetta and Dante and Nero, and I look at them and I'm like, God, that's cool. And when I look at Astral Chain, I'm like, it's a cop, isn't it? Like, cool, whatever.
Cool, cops are cool.
Cool. I love the police. Let's move on.
I think another. I don't know if you noticed this, Connor, but apparently they changed voice actress for Bayonetta, and apparently that's causing some stir.
Yeah, so people don't think that was Bayonetta in the trailer. They think I'm gonna get into some Bayonetta lore here that sucks. Bayonetta's real name is Cereza. She does not go by that name. There is a little girl in Bayonetta 1 that goes by Cereza that you later discover is you, but time traveled to the future, and you send her back to the past, and people think that she went back to the past, grew up to be another Bayonetta, and that's who this is.
That sounds about right.
I think, yeah, and I hate it, and it's stupid, but because it's Bayonetta, the thing that makes me really angry is that they're probably right, because this game is stupid.
Yeah. But yeah, I think another. It's looking like to be another fine entry in the pantheon of like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta games.
Yeah,
wasn't Dante
play so well?
Wasn't Dante teased at the end?
That wasn't Dante. No.
That had to have been Dante.
It was not Dante. It didn't even look like Dante. It
mean,
looked more like Virgil than Dante, and I went back and rewatched it, and it's not Virgil.
that would be the crossover to end all crossovers, right?
Oh,
If
The
yeah,
storm is
that would be
approaching.
better than Smash Ultimate.
if Bayonetta crossed over with Devil May Cry, I gotta play these games. Let me tell you what, I gotta. I
I'll
need
tell
If you're
you
looking for
what.
one that's just like if you really just want to jump in and have a really good time, you can't do better than Devil May Cry 5. But
Yeah.
it will kind of spoil the other Devil May Cries for you. And I'm weird. I like the stories. So
I mean, the stories just seem like absolute nonsense, and that's the kind of stuff I'm here for.
Yeah,
like,
it's really
I love
fun
that
nonsense.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up
And
playing.
I think Devil May
have
Cry
all of them.
1, 3, 4, and 5 are all really fun.
I have like the HD collection on PlayStation, and I think I have Devil May Cry 5 on PS4. I like found it at GameStop for like $5, and it was just like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, definitely play them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Bayonetta 3 was their one more thing announcement. And that's the direct. Is there anything I left out or anything you guys want to touch on some more?
I don't think so. I'm excited for Bayonetta. I think Metroid Dread. I'm most excited for Metroid Dread, but I think that might just be because it's so soon.
I mean, we've got Metroid Dread, Bayonetta, Kirby. I think are the three big games that were shown here. And then obviously,
like they're hammering my wallet these past, I just bought Deathloop, which was fun. We'll probably talk about that in a minute. I had to buy the Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye DLC this week, and then next I'm gonna get Metroid Dread, and then I think there's another game in October that I really want to play.
I mean, I'm gonna pick up Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon in November. I'll probably get that. And then
exactly
December,
the same
Halo
for me.
Infinite, but Halo Infinite's not going to cost money. Oh, Battlefield 2042. Yeah, they're just killing me. Like, there's so many good games coming out right now.
Honestly, I feel exactly the same way. Most of the year, nothing really. Like occasionally we've got like games that I'm interested in, like Returnal and Ratchet, but most of the time nothing. Then all of a sudden, like boom! Like I bought so many games the past couple weeks, and I will be buying more as the year ends. Definitely a good time to play video games.
Yeah.
And that being said, I think we can get into what we've been playing. So I have 5 games. So
yeah, can we
intersperse them? Yeah, sure.
Can we just jump in on Deathloop?
Yeah.
I finished it. Have you finished it yet?
No, I have like 10 hours into it. I don't know how much or how little that is, but I feel like I'm making meaningful progress. Like I've already... What's that?
I couldn't tell you how many hours it took me to beat. It's not very many. It's not a long game, and my complaint, it is not a replayable game. I don't see myself ever opening this game again.
I hear that the ending sort of kills the vibe.
The ending literally ruined it. Like, it didn't ruin the game, because like I've been saying that if you call it a 10 out of 10, you're delusional, and I stand by that. But it didn't really lower. Like, it kept doing things that disappointed me, but it didn't like lower itself. It really just cemented itself as a 7 or a 6 and a 6.5, like more and more the more I played it. The thing that I think is unforgivable is that this is a time loop game with one solution. There is only one way to beat this game.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of tricky, right? Because like as you're playing the game, you get the feeling that like, oh, maybe I'll be able like to do a Hitman style thing about like grouping visionaries together and finding out cool, unique ways to take them down. And obviously, I'm still in. I haven't finished the game like Connor, but like it seems like it all just leads to one point, and that's very disappointing.
It's extremely disappointing, and like they had the gall to put multiple endings in this game. And a game with this much freedom of creativity and stuff, and you make a decision in the final 2 minutes that it decides your ending. Like, you do better, guys. Like, it would have been better to just not put multiple endings. It was I hate the ending of this game. I think the entire final day, like that entire playthrough, it's not fun. There's not a single fun moment in it for me. Like, I enjoyed exploring the island. I enjoyed doing all this creative stuff. And then you railroad me into this one way. It's like playing a totally different game. It really killed it for me. And then I didn't want it to leave a bad taste in my mouth. So I fired up and played as Juliana for like an hour. And I was like having fun again. Cause like the shooting in this game is really good. The moment to moment gameplay, discovering the mysteries of the island, pretty fun. But then, at the end of the day, none of the mysteries of the island matter because you can just follow a waymarker and beat the game. You don't have to do anything.
I definitely think, I'm still kind of in the honeymoon period, right? Like, I definitely think right now I would give this game probably an 8, but I'm assuming the ending will lower that for me. But like, right now I'm having quite a good time, right? Like, I'm tackling the missions at different points in the day and completing different objectives, and dealing with Juliana whenever she invades is always super fun. Like, it always is like that X factor, right? It's like for me at least, once Juliana invades, I'm like, I drop everything I'm doing and focus on killing her, right? Like, I know some people actually keep doing their objectives and then like leave her for later, but like
I try to like, it's like a spy versus spy type game. So like, I'm expecting Juliana to be trying to stop me from doing the objective that I'm doing, because like, once you beat the game, there's not that many objectives to do. So you pretty much know what somebody's going to be trying to do if you see them in a certain area at a certain time. Yeah. So you can try to get ahead of them. And I expected Juliana to do that. And then I try to get one step ahead of that. Like, I'll look around at some of the good points to snipe me or something from where I'm trying to go. And if I don't see her there, I'll look like, is she at the radio tower? I'll hack the radio tower. And then, once I've hacked the radio tower, like, Juliana's screwed. Like, she has no idea where you're going to be anymore. You could just leave the map if you wanted to. Like,
yeah, no, I think the whole like Juliana element elevates this game for me.
It really does.
At least for now.
Her, like you mentioned to me that the game's easy difficulty was to its detriment, and that is absolutely true. This game is balanced around having a human control.
It really is. And I didn't fully realize, like you mentioned, like the game is balanced around having a competent Juliana. You said that to me before I actually like played the game to any meaningful extent. That is 100% true. And like, the game does become, because like all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm making noise now to fight Juliana, and that draws the NPCs, and I have to deal with them and Juliana at once, and I have to like escape, find somewhere where she can't find me and where the NPCs can't find me, and sort of reset the situation. It creates some really tense, really exciting moments. And playing as Juliana too, like, I love the feeling of like going on the hunt, honestly, like,
and actually killing a cult, because it's not easy to do.
And yeah, it's much harder as Juliana than it is as Colt. And like, you have to plan things. It's like, okay, I know he'll probably be coming in this way. Let me maybe put a trip mine here, and like, let me maybe disguise as this NPC, and let me put away my gun so it looks like I actually am an NPC, while I'm standing around and stuff. Like, little things like that. The Juliana elements to this game are excellent. Like, playing as the hunter, and then like, it's great too, because like when you're playing as Juliana, yes, you're the hunter, right? But like, if Colt gets the drop on you, like, the roles are instantly switched, right? Like, you have to find a place to hide, and Colt's hunting you.
Yeah, because you only got the 1 health bar.
Yeah, and it's a lot more dangerous for Juliana, and you just have to. It's a constant game of cat and mouse in which the roles constantly reverse, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, the multiplayer is really fun. I do almost think it's wasted on this game, because I see it and I think like, maybe this would be better if like I could just queue up as a Colt and get a random objective and queue up against a Juliana, like, because I would like to play more of that, but I am never going to replay this story. It's not good enough to be worth replaying.
See, the thing for me, at least where I am with Deathloop currently, I feel like if I want to play something like Deathloop, I don't really know where else to go, right? Like, Deathloop is pretty unique. It's a unique experiment, I think.
I agree with that. And it missed the bar in enough places that it wasn't quite. I also think like in the pantheon of time loop games, I would actually place Deathloop extremely low. I think I actually...
Yeah, because like the time loop is more... Yeah, the time loop is just sort of like there, right? Like, it's in the background. It's just to facilitate the gameplay, really.
Yeah, I actually think as far as like utilizing the Deathloop, or not the Deathloop, utilizing the time loop, I would place this game below 12 minutes. And I did not like 12 minutes. Like, I think that this game, the time loop and everything about it are extremely underutilized. Like, because there's not enough possibility space, There's a lot of ways to kill. There's a lot of ways to kill the visionaries, right? But it doesn't matter, because there's only one way to end the game, and that's to kill all of them. And there's only one way to kill all of them. So
I think if this game was legit Hitman, if this was Hitman plus the Juliana elements, this would be a 10 out of 10 game.
It'd be a masterpiece. Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. I think if I was redesigning Deathloop, I would definitely take a page out of Hitman's book. I would remove the entire 4 segments to the day, because that takes away so much freedom from you, like, to maneuver around the space. I would take that out and just make it an actual time limit, because then you've got people actually like making decisions, and you're navigating this large island, and you're actually thinking about, instead of your 4 segments, you're thinking about like, maybe if I use some speedrun techniques, I could actually make it from this place to this place in time to kill this person and stuff. And really just remove some of the structure around it, because they're really railroading you way too hard in this game.
Now I'm just like, I'm thinking about Hitman, and now I want to play that. Hitman is just so good, man. Like, what a series.
But yeah, I just had to dunk on Deathloop a little because I was really upset.
Yeah, it is weird because like I feel like our opinions kind of like crossed, right? Like, because like you were really up on it last episode, and I was sort of still getting into it, and now you've kind of experienced the whole thing, and now you're more down on it, but now I'm like in the midst of it and really liking it. So it will be interesting to see how my opinion shakes out at the end. But like, unfortunately, I have kind of been, I don't know if spoiled is the right word, but I've read from multiple sources that like, hey, the ending is disappointing because of how linear it is, which sucks. But
like before I played the ending, I wanted to explore the island more, because I was like, yeah, the story's pretty good. I'd like to get more of that. And then also maybe I'll find some secrets that let me like discover new ways to kill the guys. And like, now that it's just the text and stuff to get the story, like, no, like I needed both for it to be worth playing these levels again. And the other thing I would say, it'd be cool if you could get some lore as Juliana when you're playing as Juliana, because like,
yeah, the only thing you can do is like, kill cold. Yeah,
you're running around this map looking at things, and you're finding stuff. That would be an okay way for me to experience some of this lore too, and you just can't do it. You don't get to. So, like, you can't even like the text logs that are there. You just can't read them and stuff. So, and I think that was a miss.
I do get the sense the more I play this game is that like, Arcane Leon is very good at like the immersive sim genre, right? And this is their sort of experiment with that genre. And I think for the most part, I think they were successful in that like this. I think Deathloop definitely has more eyes on it than any of Arcane Leon's past games. So I think, like hopefully this game does well enough for them to take this idea and really flesh it out. Because I think a proper Deathloop sequel with some of the weaknesses shored up, it could be an easy Game of the Year contender, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. But as it is right now, this game doesn't make any decent Game of the Year list, I don't think. It's not a contender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so Deathloop was one of my games as well. I will go next and then pass it off to someone else. One of the games I've been playing over the past couple of weeks is Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Oh no.
So let me tell you, it's so funny, right? Like,
isn't it just performance boosts? Like,
it's performance boost, and they also added an ultra wide mode, and let me tell you, that ultra wide mode is the way to play this game, hands down.
You have an ultra wide TV?
No, I have a regular 65-inch OLED TV. But here's the thing. They call it ultra wide, right? But like even, if you have a normal TV, you can do this. It's essentially like a widescreen mode, right? So it puts some like black bars at the top and bottom, and like the horizontal field of view is greatly expanded. But here's the thing, like with an OLED TV, the black bars are just like, those pixels are turned off. So it looks completely natural. And it just, the environments shine so much in this game, and the widescreen makes them shine even more. And it looks gorgeous.
I hate black bars are so distracting for me.
Yeah, letterboxed.
That sounds terrible to me. This sounds like a miserable experience.
No, it's fantastic, dude. I would say probably only if you have an OLED TV, right? Because it's literally like, it's like those pixels are turned off, right? It's not like any sort of like black light or anything like that. What's that?
Isn't that how HDR works? Like any HDR TV is going to turn pixels on and off for black?
I don't know if that's true. I know
the brightness.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is designed, like, isn't that mode designed to like have your PS5 plugged into an ultra wide monitor?
No, okay, so I shouldn't be saying ultra wide, right? Like it's called widescreen mode, right? So I'm sure if you have an ultra wide monitor, it's like ideal for that, right? But like It's fantastic on a regular TV. I'm telling you from firsthand experience.
It sounds so bad.
Yeah, well, you haven't played it, so
Well,
my opinion's the one that counts here.
okay.
But okay, so the funny thing about Death Stranding is Kojima makes this weird. Let me also just say this is one of the weirdest, if not the weirdest, games I've ever played. You've got like weird trans-dimensional ghost things that are like haunting like empty barren fields, and you make grenades out of your excrement and your shower detritus to fight them, and there's babies everywhere and everyone's crying, and like what is happening in this game, you know? It's just so weird. And I think this game came out in 2019, yes? So in 2019, or maybe it was 28. No, it was 2019. So in 2019, this game comes out, right? And everyone's just like, what is this? Why is everyone inside? It's really weird. Like, you know, it's just wide open nothingness. And like, you interact with very few NPCs. And every time you do, it's behind a screen. And it's just like very strange. Fast forward to post-COVID, this game hits in a different way, right? Like, everyone's holed up inside. And you can sort of empathize with that now. It's a weird sort of thing, right? Like, it's a weird sort of thing of Kojima eerily predicting kind of like COVID taken to its extreme measure, where like no one goes outside at all and everyone's interaction is virtual, and he ups the, you know, dystopian angle too, where like the only thing people care about are like social media likes and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just find my experience playing this game after COVID to be different, which is unique, and I kind of wanted to bring that up. But yeah, Death Stranding itself, like this is such a zen and meditative game. Like it's so weird, like, because like on days, like there were certain days in the past week or so where I'm just like, I'm so tired, I really don't feel like playing anything. But then I boot up Death Stranding, and it's just so relaxing. Just And granted, this game is about a disgruntled man carrying a bunch of wobbly, unstable boxes across like extremely hostile terrain, and that's pretty much it, right? But like, it's just so relaxing to play. It just nails the ambiance so well.
Yeah, I've kind of wanted, like, I've been in a mood where I thought that like Death Stranding looked fun, and I've started to buy it, but it's like, I feel like Death Stranding is a game I could play for an hour, like when I can't think of anything else to do and just kind of want to zone out for a bit. But it's not an hour-long game. It's like an 80-hour-long game.
Yeah, I think on PS4 I've clocked in over 70 hours, right?
Yeah, so I'm not going to play Death Stranding.
Yeah,
I just don't, I'm not going to, I hope I don't zone out and want to play Death Stranding 80 times, you know?
Yeah, and it's weird too, because like Death Stranding, like, it starts off like a Kojima game, right? Like, you're treated to cutscene after cutscene after cutscene, and they're long, and
yeah, and that doesn't sound fun. Like, that doesn't sound like the part of Death Stranding I want. The part of Death Stranding I actually want is the boring carrying boxes part. Something about that sounds really zen to me. But
it is. It's so weird. Like, and I don't know if anyone could really pull that off except for Kojima and his weird tendencies when he makes games. But like, it's just so satisfying to like just carry things and make deliveries, which is the core gameplay in this game, right? This isn't just like a side activity. This is the game, right? Like, the whole game is you carry things from point A to point B. But the fascinating thing is, like, the terrain and the level, you know, I shouldn't say levels, but like the terrain is designed in such a way that like the navigating part is the gameplay, right? You actually have to like plan your routes. You have to like plan what equipment to bring to, you know, if you want to bring ropes and ladders and stuff, like, you actually have to think through all that stuff. It's not just there as like set dressing. Like, that stuff actually matters, and it turns the simple act of traversal into a gameplay mechanic, which is pretty unique, I think.
I do have a question. When the game came out, the world was barren and stuff, but like, can't the community build roads and stuff?
Yes. So yeah.
Is the game easier now than it was at launch? Because I always thought like the farther you get from the game launching, like, this game's going to be really easy eventually.
So it's interesting because I'm not at like the point where like things really open up and like you get roads and stuff, so I can't comment on that yet. But what I will say is like even small things like the paths that are trodden like most often by like most players, like dirt roads will start to form on them, and then you can like walk on the dirt road and it'll be like less strenuous on you. And I'm seeing like a lot more dirt roads in convenient locations playing the re-release of this game. So already it is slightly easier, but I don't know if that's due to the roads or just the fact that I've done this before and I know like to avoid certain areas and like what some of the optimal routes are. But I think the answer to your question is yes, that it is a bit easier now because like it's got that weird multiplayer angle to it too, right? Where like you can see other people's structures and give them likes and stuff if they help you out, and like I don't know, like Kojima has such a fascination for likes, but like I get it, right? Like he's trying to get that whole dystopian angle, right? Like where everyone just covets likes above everything else and nothing else really matters. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just wanted to bring it up because like Death Stranding is so weird and like I've never played a game like it, and it's I love it. You either love it or you hate it, and I fall into the love it camp. Like it's I didn't going into the remaster. I wasn't sure if I wanted to drop another 70 hours on Death Stranding, but now I kind of want to just beat the whole game again. So Kojima did something right.
Yeah.
All right, I have more stuff, but if someone wants to interject, feel free.
Yeah, Mike, I think you should take a turn.
All right, before I rant for a long time about Deep Rock Galactic, I gotta disclose.
I want to play Outer Wilds so bad.
I gotta disclose that I am in their content creator program now. But God, it's a good game. It's a
really good game.
I didn't think I'd enjoy a co-op game about dwarves in space as much as I do, but here I am streaming that game for 8 hours a day.
It's really fun. I played it for a long time. It lasted with my friend group like 2 or 3 months, I think, which is pretty long.
What's the game about?
Well, you're dwarves. You're sent into these planetary caves, and you're told, "Don't die," basically. Pretty much.
Yeah, you have these like multiple objectives. Like sometimes you have to like collect eggs, I think, from the bugs. Sometimes you're like mining resources. Sometimes you're like trying to get a pipeline built.
Yeah, there's a large chunk of objectives that you can.
The variety of objectives is nice because it is all procedurally generated, and it is just like doing these same set of objectives, but in different areas and on different difficulties, and like. It does eventually get a little old, but like the gameplay is so solid that like it lasted a really long time for us before we got tired of it. It was really fun. Some of the things that it really does right that I don't hear people credit it enough for is that the ping system in Deep Rock Galactic can only like the only competition in the game is Apex Legends. Like the pinging in that game is immaculate. Your communication is rock solid.
I see what you did there. The pinging system, the ping system's good. The community is welcoming because everyone collectively realizes that it's a for fun game, so they don't sweat it out and min max their builds, or at least I haven't noticed.
See, I didn't play with randoms any, so you've had a good time playing with randoms?
Oh yeah, I've had a great time playing with randoms.
I played it single player a little bit, and I actually found it like decently enjoyable single player, at least for like the initial grind. But once I had unlocked like most of my stuff, that became less fun.
I wouldn't say it's the perfect game, but it's pretty close.
Really? I think it's really good. I wouldn't call it the perfect game at all, but
I'm having a blast. Plus, they added modding support, so if I really wanted to, I could mod the game out.
I wonder if it has mod support on Game Pass. See, I think they added like an underwater themed zone since I last played that I really wanted to check out. There were some cool updates in the pipeline that weren't out last time I played.
Yeah, and they keep updating it.
Yeah, it's a fun game. And the shooting just feels good in it, and like it makes you use your head a little bit because like you have to like you can run out of ammo and you have to spend resources that you found in the world to like call in an ammo drop. And that's really cool. And there's also like this like little pet that you have with you, this little robot that follows you around and that you have to deposit your materials into. And that's really fun for me. I really liked that. I thought it was cool.
I don't like the robot because the robot oftentimes kills me.
I've never had the robot kill me. I've had the robot get stuck one time, and that made me really mad because it made the level unwinnable.
I've never had the robot get stuck, but I've had the robot push me into enemy waves.
But to be clear, I played like 80 hours of this game and the robot got stuck once, so that's not that's not much. Especially this it's a voxel based world, so like you can actually dig out the world and stuff to like make tunnels and stuff. So yeah, the stuff is gonna break occasionally, but not very often.
The game, I give it my glowing recommendation.
Yeah, if you have a friend or two to play this with, I can't recommend it enough. If you're jumping in by yourself, I'll take your word for it that it's pretty fun with the community.
Yeah, it's cross-platform for Game Pass and Xbox One, but not the Steam version.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah.
The Steam version is its own matchmaking.
Yep. That happened to me. That got me. I was trying to play it with a friend on Steam, and we realized we couldn't play together, and that bummed me out. But I had 2 friends on Xbox to play with.
Yeah, the next big update for it launches the 4th of November.
They really need to just bite the bullet and do full-on crossplay for it. But
I think we are inching closer to a crossplay, universal crossplay world, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, but we need to get there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's weird being in the content creator program for Deep Rock Galactic because these standards were remarkably low for a content creator program. Usually content creator programs are like 40 average viewers. This one was just have 100 followers and stream the game twice a month. But the chat, the Discord is nice.
That's cool.
And I do have technically a direct line of dev contact now.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you talked to him at all? Like,
no,
I don't know how big this game is.
I mean, they do post more frequently in the Discord than any other dev I've seen, which is good to see.
My only experience with that is Noita. The devs are pretty active on their Discord, and I haven't talked to them, but I've seen them talk to the community and stuff, and it's very cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see devs interact with their community.
I think that's becoming more prevalent, at least for like smaller games, because I know like Disco Elysium had a very active Discord in which the devs like discuss things with the community and like address like concerns and bugs and stuff right in the Discord, and like they're very transparent there. So that was cool.
That's kind of the future of smaller game devs, is even indie devs, is interacting with their community through these platforms.
Yeah.
Because it used to be there'd just be this mystique around an indie dev and you'd never know what they're doing, and now the expectation is keep posting on your Discord. Just join the game's Discord, and the dev will often post like,
yeah,
hey, I'm working on this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's the future of gaming.
Eamon, you want to go again?
Yeah, I'll go again. So I finished Psychonauts 2, and I wanted to talk about that. So Psychonauts 2 is a fantastic video game, first and foremost. Let me put that out there. And kind of sounds like I'm about to say but there is no but. It's just a great video game. I really kind of want to talk about spoilers. So I guess spoiler warning for Psychonauts 2.
Well, do you want to do that last? Like,
okay, yeah, we can skip.
Just turn the podcast off then.
Yeah, we can skip.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've also been playing Kena Bridge of Spirits. So I don't know if you've heard about this game, Connor, but PlayStation has been pushing this game a lot before launch, and it came out on PS5, PS4, and PC. And it is a third-person like action adventure game made by like Ember Lab, and this is their first video game, which is very cool. Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's about a young girl named Kena, and she is kind of like a spirit guide, right? So she helps like the souls of the dead like sort of find peace, right? And it's a really neat game. I'm really enjoying it. It's heavily inspired by like Polynesian culture and like music and traditions and stuff like that. And I really think the devs like really took that to heart when designing this game, because like the soundtrack to this game, like it doesn't really sound like music I've heard before. I guess because I really haven't heard Polynesian music before, but like it's full of like really interesting sounding drums and percussion, and it just sounds so good. Like this might be a contender for like soundtrack of the year for me. Like the The music in this game is absolutely phenomenal. But like you explore like a forest, right? That is like sort of decaying from like angry due to like the presence of like angry spirits, and like you go through the forest and like cleanse parts of it and like fight these angry spirits and stuff. It's kind of a lot like, like Zelda or Okami, like sort of like a classic action adventure game that really isn't made anymore, really. Like this really is sort of a throwback to this older style of game, and I think that's another reason I'm enjoying it so much. But it also has like this very light Pikmin element to it, because you find these small creatures called the Rot, just like hidden around the world, and like once you find one, they like follow you around like forever, right? So like I think I have like I don't know, like 40 plus Rot right now, and like it's really cute because like you can find like cosmetics for them, like little hats for them to wear and stuff like that too. And they like augment your powers, and they can like lift things for you and like attack things for you and stuff like that. So yeah, it does like a really nice job of like using the rots to solve puzzles while also augmenting the gameplay, while also having like pretty, I mean, I won't say the gameplay is the best in the world, but it's solid, right? It does the job. You have like your staff, and you have like a spirit bow that you get later and stuff like that, and that's sort of the crux of the combat. But yeah, like I love just existing in this world. It's like so far I think I've put like 6 or 7 hours into the game. It all takes place in this immense forest, and like there's villages and like farms in the forest too, and like just exploring this game with like the gorgeous visuals. I should add, like, this game looks phenomenal, and the killer soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely gorgeous, and it's just a really nice experience. I'm really enjoying it a lot. So I just wanted to give that a shout out here. Kana, Bridge of Spirits.
Nice.
Uh,
I'll take my turn now.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Outer Wilds: Echoes of the Eye, and I might surprise you with some of the things I have to say. I like it. It's really good. It is not everything I wanted in an Outer Wilds DLC. I was really excited to go back to this world, like Outer Wilds is this world that you get to live in and learn everything about, and it takes like 10 to 15, 20 hours, something like that, and you learn everything about this world. And that makes it a very difficult game to revisit because I already know everything about this world. It's not, there's nothing new under the sun.
So, quick question: This is standalone, right? It's not integrated into the main game.
It is integrated. Yes,
it is.
I was
Perfect.
kind of hoping that maybe they had put a new mystery, and it was going to be solar system spanning. Where I would be flying around everywhere. It's not really the case. You find
if someone were sorry, just really quick, but if someone were to presumably pick up this game for the first time, it would be even more enhanced now because this is like part of the main game now.
It's not integrated into the main story. Yeah, you would. The full game would be available to you all at once. Yes, but this mystery is a mostly separate mystery from that of the core game. So
Okay.
there have been a couple of things that I'm trying not to spoil things. There was a twist in the DLC that explained something very upsetting that happened in the main game, but that thing that happened in the main game didn't really need explained. So the DLC is absolutely optional. You'll have a phenomenal experience playing Outer Wilds without it. And then it also, apparently the DLC changes itself a little bit based on how much of the main game you've played, because they don't want to tell you the main game's story in the DLC location. So they will actually change some things, which is really smart, I think. But the DLC takes place exclusively in one place that you go to. You find some hints on your homeworld, you fly up, you discover a new area that you could not find before, and then you go to that area, and the entire DLC takes place there. So as a result of that, this area is extremely dense, and things I didn't expect to do in Outer Wilds, I was not expecting whitewater rafting, like little stuff like that. It's really neat. There were some fun little things to do. I wasn't expecting this to be a scary DLC. There is a warning when you fire up the game for the first time with the DLC installed that there are, scary bits, and you can disable some of them in the settings. And that's nice. Like the narrative is a lot. It's haunting, I think I would call it. It's sad. There's a lot going on to it. It's more Outer Wilds, which I really like, but it does certainly lose some of the magic of the core game because it is all in this one place. Whereas like in Outer Wilds proper, you'll be on the planet Giants Deep and you'll be reading logs about something that happened on the Ember Twin. And you're like, oh, next time I'm on Ember Twin, I'll have to check that out. I got to remember that. And then you fly, or maybe you're done on Giants Deep and you're like, well, I know where to go next. I'll fly over to Ember Twin. Or maybe I want to follow up this lead I had on Brittle Hollow. Like you have a ton of options at any given time. And you don't have that. Like you pretty much park your ship and don't use it anymore during this DLC, which is a shame to me. But other than that, I really like it. And my review would have kind of ended there if you had asked me before an hour ago, or I guess an hour and a half ago now. We've been recording a long time. But this DLC does include a stealth horror section that is abysmal and is terrible. It's just the worst. It doesn't work. It's not a good idea, and it plays terribly. And it actually, I will never replay this DLC, I don't think, because I don't think I could ever like make myself sit through this section again. It was so frustrating and not fun, and it really soured the experience.
That's unfortunate to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I would still like, if you liked Outer Wilds, I would absolutely recommend this DLC, but it is a hard. I would recommend Outer Wilds to anyone, and there are a lot of people I would not recommend this DLC to, unless you really, really like the Outer Wilds. I have a hard time because it's not like an optional section. It's something you have to play through, and it's like this. You're like carrying this lantern around, and all the scary people have lanterns too, and like they see your lantern light and come attack you, so you have to turn your lantern off. But if you turn your lantern off, you're sitting there in pitch black, and like you'll be wandering around, like literally the screen just goes black. You don't see anything.
That sounds stressful.
And it's not, it is stressful, and I think that's good. What's not good is the fact that like you can turn your lantern on, and one of these AI things that are just wandering around, it could be literally inches from you, and like you just turn your lantern on and lose, and that's not fun. That happened to me many times, and there's just like, the first time it was scary, the second time it was a little scary, the third time I was like, man, I really just wanted to like play the game. This isn't fun anymore. I want to just it stopped being scary, and it just turned frustrating, which is a shame because I think the haunting, like somber horror aspect of this is really good most of the time. But this section and this, there was another stealth section earlier that I thought was really good, but there was a little bit of light to follow, like a tiny bit. And in this one, there was literally nothing, and it was miserable, and I hated it. And it actually, honestly, it knocked this, like, Echoes of the Eye will not be a Game of the Year contender for me 2021. It can't be, because this section is just so bad. It brings it down so hard.
Plus, it's a DLC, right? It's not a full game.
Yeah, but you know me and how I feel about Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
This game is, I like, because really, when you're actually exploring the planet, it's immaculate. It's so fun. It's like, trying not to spoil anything, but it's so good. The story runs so deep, and it is really, where it's just one area, the amount of content in that one area is extremely dense compared to normal Outer Wilds, where you're kind of wandering from place to place.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm really excited to finish it, and you do, I know it's a time loop game. You only have to play that section one time. Thank God. But and technically you could look up the answer and skip that section and miss out on nothing, but that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good game.
It's interesting because, like, by all accounts, Outer Wilds is a masterpiece from everything I've heard, including, obviously your testament.
Yeah.
But like, it's interesting when you have a masterpiece and you try to add on to it, like, I'm sure they must have realized that section wasn't quite coming together. It might have been just better to cut it entirely.
That's exactly what I would do. I would have cut it entirely. I would have replaced the mechanical side of it completely. The actual area it takes place in is fine, and like, you could have had the guys wandering around and be scary, but them actually catching you and stuff is not fun. It was It was very not fun. But you know, the stuff you learn, and that's the worst part, is that the stuff you learn at the end of it, the narrative, oh my god, it's so soul crushing. It's so good.
So crushingly good.
Yeah, I mean, Outer Wilds. The original narrative, you're reading about an extinct species. You know, there are sad moments in Outer Wilds, and they're extremely good.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm gonna quit ranting about it. The DLC is extremely good if you like Outer Wilds. That one section of the DLC is extraordinarily bad, and you will know it when you see it. It's rough.
Okay. Good to know. All right. So, does anyone have any other things? Because I have 2 more. I'll try to get through them quick.
2 more, including Psychonauts?
No. Well, yeah, just 2 more.
Okay.
Okay. So, first of all, I just want to say, so I've been playing a lot of video games these past 2 weeks, more than I have, probably the rest of this year, right? Like, I haven't been playing too much this year overall, but like lately, a lot of stuff been coming out. I'm playing it. I'm playing Deathloop, Death Stranding, Kana, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2. But sometimes you just hear the call. And when you hear the call, you got to answer.
God, I hope it's not MapleStory.
And of course, I'm talking about MapleStory.
God, no.
No.
All right, so in the midst of all of this, my, bi-yearly, or maybe I should say like tri-yearly urge kicked in to play MapleStory. So I dropped everything I was doing and just played MapleStory like a lot.
God, can I level with you, Ahmed?
Yeah.
It's been hitting me too. I haven't played it, but I've been playing the music while I work.
See, it's not just me. I'm not the crazy one. But yeah, no, I've been playing MapleStory. You know what? Like, obviously, like we've talked about this before, old school MapleStory is a very, very, very special experience that does not exist anymore unless you like dig through like older versions of the game.
Yeah, it's really sad.
But like, I've come to fully appreciate modern MapleStory for what it is.
Did you try MapleStory? The mobile MapleStory?
No.
It's actually, so you didn't hear it from me, but as a game, it kind of plays itself in large part, and like it has auto questing. Like you can just hit auto quest, and your character will run from place to place and collect the items for you. And as something that I can just leave running on my phone and kind of experience MapleStory while I work, or like while I'm doing whatever I'm doing with my day, it's kind of great. Like some of the options aren't there. Like you don't start as a beginner and then choose your class as you play and stuff, which I really liked about OG MapleStory. But I think MapleStory, and it is an actual multiplayer, like it's an actual MMO, like the community's there and stuff, and there are actual things to do that require player input. But the grinding, the game will grind itself, and it also gives you an hour a day of auto grinding of just killing enemies. You don't have to do anything. The game will just play itself for an hour. Yeah.
But yeah, like, MapleStory is full to the brim with like all these new character classes and like OP new things. And I took a look at all that when I logged back in. I was just like, you know what? I want to keep it simple. I made myself a pirate. I made myself a gunslinger, and I just shot some
pigs,
mushrooms, and
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Listen to the absolute. They didn't have to go that hard on that soundtrack. They did not have to.
That is like a GOAT tier soundtrack, and I will fight anyone who disagrees with me.
Yeah, there are. I can't think of any games that soundtrack other than Outer Wilds that affect me the way MapleStory does.
Yeah, too bad the rest of the game is flaming garbage. But
oh my god, I know. I like the art. I think the art's good.
Yeah, the art's good. But okay,
and
so
the old world design, like the old world was interesting.
I mean, current MapleStory is flaming garbage. Yeah. But yeah, I took this humble little pirate and I leveled him all the way to 130.
Oh my god! What did that take you? 6 hours? I guess.
Yeah, like a few hours. Like it wasn't anything else. And then I made another character.
Oh my god! 130 the max?
No.
Okay,
It's just it started getting kind of slow, and like I already had like my 4th job skills, and I was just like, well, the luster has worn off. So
yeah.
And then I made an Evan, which is a dragon tamer character. And I think I'm like level 70 right now or whatever. My dragon's gotten pretty big, pretty cool.
You're still playing?
Yeah, I'm still into it. Yeah, it's weird when I have like all these other really good games that I'm
I
playing.
know you have these masterpieces sitting on your shelf.
And I'm just like, yeah, MapleStory though.
You played MapleStory instead of Outer Wilds.
Hey, okay, Outer Wilds is one of those things that I'll get to one day. You know, it's I know it's going to be great, right? And I don't have your previous experience, so I have no like urgency to play it. But like
Yeah.
I know it's going to be great whenever I finally get to it. But MapleStory, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy, like just doing the mindless grinding, all the leveling up and stuff, seeing the numbers go up. You know how it is.
Yeah, you play MapleStory in the most boring way possible too.
Yeah, it's like a therapeutic thing, honestly. Like it was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna shut my brain off, have like Always Sunny on in the background, and play MapleStory, and it was great. And I'd do it again. Okay, so I've been playing MapleStory. Who knows how long that'll last? Probably not much longer. These things come and go. But last game, Psychonauts 2. So I finally beat it. Let me think here. And I think the ending, to talk about the ending, like you have to talk about spoilers a bit. So spoiler warning here for Psychonauts 2. So I'm very glad that, and I think it had to go this way, right? Like just in terms of basic storytelling, but I'm very glad that in a way Maligula turned out to be his grandmother, and like the whole like twist with Ford Cruller at the end, like not necessarily being the hero he's been revered for, sort of a war criminal, honestly.
Yeah.
And let me just say, that Grulovia song has been stuck in my head for days.
I thought days. I did not expect the Nick John Smith being the villain twist. I thought that was so good.
So Nick from the mailroom was actually the secret heir to Grulovi, the Grulovian Empire, which is certainly a twist. You know what's interesting? Zanato, you know, like when I'm
so lost. What's going on?
It's gonna be okay, Mike.
I heard MapleStory and I tuned out. Where are we?
We're talking about Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
So, Connor, when you meet Zanato earlier on in the game, I'm like, I could tell something was off with him, like right off the bat.
Yeah, when he like tries to get you to get Ford Cruller in, I was like,
you don't. Yeah, this isn't how the adults in this game have been treating children normally. So something is off with you. You're probably the mole, and in a way, that's right? But like, it's only half the story, right? Because like, in reality, it was Nick's, well, not Nick, but like Grulovian guy's brain in Zanato's body. So, cool twist there, and I really like that. Like obviously, Raz's grandmother wasn't his actual grandmother, but like someone who was tricked into believing she was their grandmother by Ford, which is another like very sort of despicable thing that Ford did. And it really sort of makes sense, like why Ford's mind has been in tatters for 2 games now, right? Because like he's done some evil stuff, right? Like, and he can't really live with himself, and that's why like he sort of just broke, which is a really good story in and of itself. But yeah, like I really like how the ending tied together the whole like, Psychonauts traitor subplot, as well as like the whole Raz's family stuff. Like everything came together so neatly, in fact, that I feel like if they wanted to end the Psychonauts story here, I feel like they could.
Yeah, right? But I hope they don't.
It really does feel like an ending, because like the first game, obviously I didn't play it, but like I know about it. The first game ended on a cliffhanger, right? Like they were getting on the plane to go.
Yeah, which was cruel.
Yeah. So, and then that cliffhanger lasted for like 15 years.
16 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but this game, it ties everything up. Am I wrong about that, Connor? Like it really seems like it, ties up.
It leaves room for more adventures, but it does tie up every loose end.
Obviously, this world is so rich, like it can go in any number of directions. But in terms of like existing storylines, it's tied everything up, I think.
Yeah,
very neatly, I might add.
Yeah. I mean, the way Raz's relationship with his family changes throughout the game is incredible. Yeah. The way, did you talk to Raz's dad after beating the game?
No, I did not. I should have.
Oh, you need to go do that, because it's like his mom isn't like.
His dad was broken at the end of the game, right? Because like the memories come back, and he realized like this woman is not his mother, but his aunt, right? Like it was his aunt,
and his aunt killed his mother. Like yeah. Not
very not really heavy stuff for a kids game, right?
Yeah. Well, Psychonauts isn't really a kids game.
Yeah, but it's like rated E, right? Is it? It
I
might
think
be
it's E10
rated
or something. I mean,
Yeah.
Sasha's out smoking cigarettes. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, true. Yeah.
It's not. It has adult humor for sure.
Yeah, and I do like how Lily, played more of a role at the end, and like the interns came in at the end, the very end, right in your last fight against Maligula. But like again, like you said, they are kind of underutilized, which kind of sucks. But I feel like all of those characters, those interns are so interesting. Like I would say most of them are so interesting. I feel like the next game can really expand upon them if they chose to go in that direction. But yeah, dude, that Grulovia jingle, I tell you what, that was... I still hear it in my head. It's, like, so catchy.
Yeah.
It was so, like, wartimey and propaganda-y, and, like, for some reason, it's just stuck in my head, and I can't get it out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've
like,
heard
the whole, like...
a lot of people really like the world inside Nick's brain. Yeah.
Yeah, like, the whole, like, ride throughout, like, the Grulovian thing, and, like, you saw the history play out, like, from their side, and it was fascinating, dude. Like, I did not expect this from a Psychonauts game.
Did you know that Jack Black plays the Psymaster?
You told me that. Yeah.
That changes that whole scene for me. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Yeah, I think I definitely think that Psychonauts 3, if and when it happens, like they're working with a clean slate now, which is really cool. And I didn't think I would ever be so invested in the story of a Psychonauts game, right? Like I went into this thinking of like I would get some solid platforming and clever level design, and I got that, right? Like the levels were way beyond anything I ever expected. But more than that, I really got sucked into the story. Like I care about these characters a lot, and I'm eager to see where they go from here. And that is it for me. And I think that's it for us here at Game Talk. Thank you guys for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at @podcast Game Talk. You can like, rate, and review us on any podcast service you use, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, etc. Click the link in the description of this podcast to join our Discord and talk to us there. Thank you, Connor and Mike.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye. All right, you did good, Craig. I'm proud of you.